Listen up. Bank has just been bombed in Knightsbridge. A group calling itself the Authentic IRA just phoned it in. I want to know who they are, who's behind them. Call them at Sinn Féin, monitor the blogs. Is it the IRA or is it something else? ISIS, Al-Qaeda?
Serious.
I heard you're checking my dumps.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome back to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. This is episode 679. I'm Scott Johnson, joined today by Brian. James Bond sounds like the Lucky Charms guy, Dunaway.
That's not even right. Oh, hi. Popeye? Oh, hi.
Popeye? Not Popeye? Is that Popeye?
Oh, hi. This week on Film Sack, we old man Jackie Channel are lost in anger to some good old-fashioned revenge bombing, like some kind of problematically titled book from the 90s being made into a movie in the 2017s. The Chinaman? No. How about The Foreigner? Yeah. Now blowing up on Netflix. Brought to you by Prism Company and Dragon Company and Water Drop Company and, the H Brothers and 5 more minutes of production companies. Names! I need names! Anywho, as I sit here in the dark in my hastily built stick hut, shirtless in the woods with the rain pouring down and the fire blazing as it warms up my knife to flesh burning hot so I can stick it to my bullet wound and cauterize it until I fall into a fugue state and hallucinate my dead family, I'm thinking, hey, did I turn off the stove back at the restaurant? I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. Randy, which end of the snake do you grab? Neither. Neither is the answer. Don't grab snakes. They don't like it.
No, they don't.
They don't like it. Don't do that.
Despite the fact that Brian Dunaway, we are aware that he has a cold today or some sort of something going on. That is one of your finest efforts.
Yeah.
That was really good.
NyQuil fueled fodder.
Yeah, it's your fugue state in the forest, your version of it. Anyway, well done. Also with us today, we have Randy. Hey, I thought this movie was about Jackie Chan's character, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott, Brian. Thanks for coming. Once again, we're cops. We got a job to do. This one is weird because we're trying to take down a Northern Irish department of the government, this is in air quotes, some department of the government. And they're all former troublemakers who embraced the Good Friday Agreement, made peace. They might still be guilty as sin, or they might not. But from out of nowhere, there's a Chinaman. Do we say Chinaman? I don't think we do. No. I realize Brexit just happened last year, and we're testing the fences. But I think we should call this guy something like Asian immigrant. Maybe, I don't know. We'll workshop it. For now, it's enough to say a Chinese-British man has traveled from London, and if we don't get the bad guys fast, he's going to blow up every toilet in Belfast. So make sure you follow these 3 important rules. Number 1, we're just inexplicably not going to even mess with the Chinese-British man. He is allowed to he's allowed a completely open season on the guys we're actually after. Number 2. If one of these guys has a mistress who's way out of his league and like 30 years younger than him, there could be something fishy there. Maybe tell someone. Number 3, and this goes without saying, if you capture a woman who's a terrorist, do not waste any time whatsoever having your torture guy hook electrodes up to her tits. We're trying to save lives by shocking nipples, people.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
It really looked like where they were going with that.
I was curious though. Is that nipples? They got 2. I'm pretty. Yes.
Well, they were like undo her top, and then they cut.
So you think they hooked it to her underwire?
I get her all. That's more of an all-around shock.
Right on the nipples, and that was clearly edited out.
Yeah, or it's almost worse because they didn't show us. To be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to all that in a minute. But before that, we have our final guy to announce. It's Brian. British SS agents are freaking brutal. Ibit.
Yes, they are. Just a little jumper cable nipple play.
Yep.
So you guys both brought up Chinaman. I really was going to do David Bowie's China Girl for this
that'd
thing.
be good.
One of my options. It would have been, but it would have been hard to. I don't know. It still feels like something you're just not supposed to say.
Right.
I thought about Under the Bridge. You know, leaving to Belfast, they built the Titanic. But
Smart.
It feels like I'm treading so much Weird Al Yankovic water that I didn't want to do anymore this time. But this one untouched by Weird Al, and things just seem to fit together really well for this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you for that.
I love that song, generally.
Any excuse to play some Tom Petty, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfectly timed to the trailer too, by the way. I was watching the trailer while at the same time, and I'm telling you, it is. I don't know what the beating and the time of it is, but the timing is perfect.
So what is it?
I'm totally gonna have to watch the trailer.
What's the famous one of that? It's is it Stairway to Heaven and
Dark Side of the Moon?
Oh, Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz,
Dark
right?
Side of the Moon, Wizard of Oz, yeah.
That's it. I've never done that. I always meant to do that.
Before we go any further, I want to offer just a minor correction to something Scott said right before the song.
Oh yeah.
When you're referring to the British Secret Service, they're the SIS.
Oh, SIS. Oh.
If you say British SS, you're referring to some traitors who went to Germany and fought with.
I didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear because I was so busy thinking.
You're right. SIS. I should know this from years of playing video games with like military shit.
That's true. There's a lot of video games about this.
Yeah. How did I do that? And also, it's Secret Service here, which is
Right.
Anyway, well done. Let's get to the fake Fletcher. This is interesting because I did nothing to this thing during the week. I didn't change anything. I didn't tweak anything. But you will hear this and go, Scott, what did you do? Like, how did you break it?
I think you're proving evolution.
I think I am too.
Yeah,
machine evolution is real, guys. Let's get behind this new movement and fight against the machine, because whatever this is not what I asked for, but here it is.
Today on the Film Sack podcast, a humble businessman with a buried past seeks justice when his daughter is killed in an act of terrorism. A cat and mouse conflict ensues with a government official whose past may hold clues to the killer's identities. More Dark Chan, we demand it.
Whoa!
I really like.
Whoa! At the end,
lately.
It was really weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Wow.
Got a real Moira going on there from Schitt's Creek.
And it's funny because he like gets faster about halfway through. Like he starts picking up speed, and then
I want this integrated into my newsreader. The problem is that it would change on me. I have a feeling.
Oh, every day. Like, honestly, the only thing I do different every week is I paste it and hit generate, and that's it. I don't do anything else. So it's always got a mind of its own. And I'm guessing if I did a second generation of the same line, it would come out even more different.
Yeah.
But why it does stuff toward the end like this?
Dark.
That like what is that? What is happening?
That's a comma. That's what commas sound like to the AI.
That's right. Well, we're talking about The Foreigner. This is a 2017 film that when it first started showing commercials for and stuff, I was convinced I would see it because I'm a big fan of Dark Chan, of serious acting Chan.
Yeah.
It's a revenge movie, right? We love revenge.
I love revenge movies, but in particular, I just like Jackie Chan when he puts on the non-comedic pants, and I think he's really a natural at it. And he doesn't get used enough for it, and things he
gets one tiny moment of levity in this entire movie, and the rest of it, he is so broken.
Yeah,
and that's the very beginning. The very first thing you get to see is him boggling at his, I guess, 17-year-old or 18-year-old daughter.
I mean, your 30-year-old daughter, yeah,
sure. But she's, like he's dropping her off at a dress shop, and she's like rushing out of the car, right? Because she's trying to get away from dad.
Yeah.
And he has this one little tiny glimmer of comedic fun. And that's it.
That's it.
Rest of the movie,
it's all you're going to get.
Yeah.
He's
just
the most
dour 99%. I mean, not just him, but even, there's no comedy relief in bumbling henchmen or inept secretaries or anything like that. I mean, it's like it goes 5 minutes of, all right, here's some fun, and dour for the next hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's John Wick, it's Bourne Identity, it's one of these. That's what this is, and and my only real beef with it, because I actually really liked it. I thought this was pretty freaking great. We're back to Martin Campbell, known for some Bond movies, including GoldenEye. So he's back with his old pal Pierce Brosnan to do a little more work with him. But anyway, this is also the first movie he did since he made that horrible Green Lantern movie.
Right.
which was such a travesty that this was like a nice breath of fresh air. But anyway,
while you're on that, can you just named a couple that we sacked? Can you name the 2-part movie series of his that we sacked?
Okay.
2-part movie series.
Yeah.
We sacked it?
So we sacked GoldenEye, we sacked Green Lantern, now we sacked Foreigner. There's two more movies.
Oh, the Zorro movies, I'll bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's right. He also, did we do Vertical Limit?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
I always mix
we
that up.
should.
I mix that up with the
Cliffhanger?
Yeah.
Snipes one.
Cliffhanger.
Oh.
Not always bet on black, but the one where he jumps out of planes.
The jump zone, drop zone. or
Drop
whatever.
zone.
Drop zone.
That's
Jump zone's even better. I like that better.
Not to be
Drop zone.
confused with maximum velocity. What was it? I forget. Anyway.
Something like that.
Scott, please finish your beef.
Oh,
because
here's
you
my
were about
beef.
to do, like, what the problem
This is the only problem I have with it because I actually think the whole thing's very good. My only complaint is it is presented as a Jackie Chan vehicle and he's in it. But at various points during the running of the film, he's not important. He's not in it even. He's like almost.
In fact, he's not. His is a subplot.
Yeah,
This movie has a plot. And he is a subplot.
He's not just a subplot. He is a complication to a plot that is larger than his. His is interesting, right? It's revenge and this and that. It makes sense. And he's got some past where he's a trained agent and all this stuff, and he has to come out of his nice, sweet, restaurant owning persona to get revenge. And that's interesting on its own. But then they got this bigger, the IRA is reactivating in a way that hasn't happened since the 70s, and the old guard and the new guard and all of that. And guess what? That's also really good plot. But it has a way of occasionally just going, oh shit, I forgot Jackie Chan's out there in the woods doing stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
His character has no influence on the outcome of the movie. Really, other than occasionally bumping into.
He forces some things to happen faster than they would have otherwise.
Yeah,
I'm curious. I thought about that too. Did he though? Because they were really trying to get the names. He was really trying to get names. As a matter of fact, it was kind of a distraction. He had to leave, go out to the farm somewhere because it's like I can't focus. This turd
really
is
did
following
slow
me.
down the. The close of the case, because it was basically everything was working behind the scenes against Liam.
I'm trying to get the names.
Liam O'Shaughnessy or Guinness O'Leprechaun or whatever his name was.
Guinness O'Leprechaun. Hold on a minute. I need to think about that for a minute. I want the name Guinness. I want to make a T-shirt that says Guinness O'Leprechaun, please.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But you're right. They all had these like Sean O'Hannessy and.
They really did, yeah.
They were named Patrick Cullen and Eamon McShane. Every damn one of them.
Yeah.
I think Patty Flanagan was in here. It was ridiculous.
Right. Maggie, of course, we have to have a Maggie.
Yeah.
The source material was the book called The Chinaman, written or at least published during the 90s. And so my guess is all the character names are probably from the book and is probably steeped in stereotypes, if I had to guess.
Probably a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing, we talk about the stereotypes of calling somebody a Chinaman, and even in the 90s seems crazy to me, but
right.
But also these are very stereotypic ideas around Irish terrorism, very stereotypic ideas around the British response to it. Like all of this stuff felt like extreme versions of that. And I don't know how accurate any of it is because I don't live over there and I don't really know. I only know what books and entertainment have taught me about the IRA and,
Right. Well, the book was probably published during the height of when all of that was going on, or was a lot hotter than it was once it was put as a movie. And so they kind of like space it out a little bit. So some play in the screenplay.
Sure.
I want to just add a secondary beef to this movie because I wrote down. I wrote out, Scott. I wrote out what's the point of Jackie Chan's story in this movie. But like I had a secondary beef, and that was I wish this movie had been made the way people used to make movies, like entirely shot on film and only doing regular effects. Because you're watching this now, and you have a 4K television and it's 70 inches wide, and some of the modern, I don't know, 20 do we call 2017? Some of the effects were bad, and it just bugged me. The scene that Dunaway mentioned where Chan is topless and scarred and he cauterizes a wound, I don't know how they did that, whether he was wearing like a shirt with scars on it or that was entirely CGI, but it was bad, like really bad. The glowing animated knife was bad, and like he does a fine job of acting through it. But man, like imagine if this had just been shot on film and you just had regular stuff. Like you could have shown us him doing that from behind so that we didn't have to see any CG.
I'm gonna add some pickles to that beef because I feel like I felt the same way, except the scene that was the worst for me was the one where they come to get him when he was in his hotel, and they fight him through the roof. Some great, cool fights, but just hindered by the fact that you could tell. I couldn't tell if it was green screen or what was going on, but you could definitely feel
like when he's busting open the roof, it felt like it was all made of like polystyrene.
But that's the biggest complaint. It looks good though for the most part.
For the most part, it's fine.
It feels a little artificial.
And who knows? I mean, a lot of adrenaline at the moment. He could rip through the shingles and underlayment.
I find it kind of quite hilarious. I've been thinking about it a lot for some reason for the last couple of months. I keep seeing things where it's like we always, as humans, we try to escape through windows and doors, but sometimes the wall is the weakest thing that's impeding you from escaping, right?
I don't want to say the whole movie has bad effects because they spent some budget on the very first bomb at the beginning of the movie. That was amazing. Jackie Chan getting blown over the hood of a car looked really good.
It looked good.
Yeah, that looked insane. That initial scene was like, oh, okay,
the cinematography was pretty good. I liked that they gave us an opportunity to see something that was a little bit artistic at the beginning because they kind of really locked it down later in the movie. But at the very beginning, you get these nice, high shots instead of doing a city shot. You almost always now you have like a drone shot because it's super easy and cheap, and it's still kind of impressive to see like a above the city shot. But here they kind of just shot it down the side of a building. I thought that looked really cool. And, nice establishing shot.
That was cool. I'll be honest, I was a little worried because this movie, Brian, you mentioned it in your intro that there's so many production companies tied to it, and I was worried because a lot of those same Chinese production companies where a lot of this money came from to make the movie is the same string of names I recognize from those Meg movies, the giant shark thing with Statham. And they're it's not that it's a problem that the money or the production's coming from China. It's that sometimes those production companies have demands that hamper the production. And one of those demands with the Meg was you need to hire these 5 Chinese actors, whether they're good for the roles or not, and they need to get top billing. And Statham's there, but he's not really who we're going to show most of the time and that sort of thing. And this looks like that a little bit. Like top billing for this movie is Katie Luong, the daughter, Jackie Chan, and Rufus Jones. How you don't put Pierce Brosnan in your top billing is crazy to me. Like that just seems insane.
She's having a moment right now to you guys watching the Arcane series.
Oh, she voices in that?
Yeah, she's a voice in there. She's Caitlin, I think.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, she was in season 1 as well.
Season 2. I didn't finish season 1, so I'm actually restarting from the beginning of season 1. And because this thing's so great, I just love watching it. Yeah. So beautifully done.
And you like The Peripheral, right? We were fans of that series, the 8 episodes they gave us.
Oh yes, The Peripheral. Yes,
she was her friend
Moritz.
Chloe Taste Mertez, something like that. She was her friend Ash in that. She was really good in that too.
Right.
Yeah, she's good in lots of things. Lots of voices too. Cyberpunk, a bunch of other games. Anyway, it's not that I don't have no problem with her being in the thing, but she's in the movie for about 5 seconds. Like she's barely in this thing. So I think there's some of that going on, and then that sometimes will relate or will happen.
I feel like
she was doing big in China, though, right? I mean, this was a marketed first to China, I guess.
Yeah, but I think she's
speaking a movie.
I think she's actually British, though. I could be wrong.
I feel like they put these in order of appearance almost because
on the IMDb order
on the IMDb cast. Yeah. This is kind of the order you see everybody.
That's a good point.
I was so sad, guys. This movie starts with Cho Chang, and I'm like, this is my favorite character from Harry Potter. For some reason, I don't know why this is my favorite character.
Oh, yeah, she is Cho Chang.
I was younger. I would read the books, and I don't know why. And there she is, and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know she was even in this. And then boom, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I see why. Yeah.
Yeah.
She went boom.
Boom, and then boom, she's not in it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. That boom
The
happened real
cars that
quick.
go boom.
It was a
Did
cool
you guys
boom.
have?
No.
Did you guys have just a moment where you were like, "Wait, I'm still dealing with who's right, pulling in forward or pulling in back in a parking spot?"
Oh, right.
I was still having trouble with that. I'm like, "Who was at fault there? I'm time looking at a bomb."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was I don't think it was Chan. I think the other guy screwed up.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna
he's
do that.
definitely the biggest dick, but I don't know the local laws.
If you are in an accident and you are in reverse, you are at fault. That is like the the simplest.
In the U.S., you're right.
Sure,
If you
okay.
were in somebody, that's.
If you do that in London, though, who knows? I don't know.
I
if
don't
there's-
know. Not who knows. They probably know.
Yeah. I mean, they probably, yeah.
Sure, people in London know.
People in London probably have a pretty good idea. Sure.
Right.
But
Yeah,
all it reminded me was like, all right, this guy, here's what I thought. I went into this knowing this little aspect of this movie, which was he was an ex something in China, highly trained somebody who worked for the Chinese government. So because I went in with that, when that accident happened, I went, oh, they're blocking him in to take him out.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought was going on. And then that guy would just turned out to be an ass. And that was it.
I just want to before we get too far away from the original assessment, I just want to ask Dunn and Ibit. Did you agree that this is a movie about Pierce Brosnan's character navigating the web that he wove?
Yes.
And like that it could have used more Jackie Chan.
Sort of. I mean, I'm almost the opposite. Like, Scott was talking about how much it felt like it was, I don't know, 2 movies between the Pierce Brosnan stuff and the Jackie Chan stuff. I totally agree. I feel like I would have been happy with a Pierce Brosnan movie where, ex-IRA, working for the government now, ties with the Sinn Féin, and now is torn between having to try and get some of his people released, but also preventing violence and keeping the things from getting escalated.
Yeah.
You could have had 2 separate movies doing this sort of thing and had far less or far less Pierce Brosnan stuff and really focused on the Jackie Chan thing and made it about, you're following him creating this little bunker and getting these car signs made overnight at a Kinko's and getting this, finding out where the farm, how did he find, like seeing the process of, how did he find where the farmhouse was, or how did he get into Brosnan's house, things like that. But it's like a couple trains or a couple tracks and you're bouncing on the train back and forth, and there's a lot of missed scenery that you're going by in the other train that you don't get to see, that I think would have added to the story.
Yeah.
There's also the problem of the story itself for me, and that is, and I realize this would have been very cliche if it had gone like this, but I think I would have liked it more if the Pierce Brosnan character was actually innocent of knowing what was going on, because like there's just something about the way it starts where you're like, okay, who are the bad guys here? Is it the Northern Irish guys, or is it actually the Englishmen? Like are they actually provoking this stuff? And then and it turns out no, everybody's a bad guy. It's just like there's no
I think
they
the book,
avoid the trope. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the book maybe portrays this a little bit better. If I had to guess, I don't know for sure because I haven't read it. But the character Liam Hennessy seems like he's running parallel to Jackie Chan's character, and there's 2 ways that you can gracefully step down from being a warrior, and one is with honor, and one is without. And I actually his comeuppance was actually kind of interesting, the way that Jackie Chan turned him into a terrorist by publicly being known. But I thought the greater punishment was to be, the footstool of his enemy.
Oh, for sure. I just like as a foreigner myself to all of this, I want to sympathize with the Northern Irish position, and I want to uniformly sympathize with it, like from beginning to end. So I'm hoping that these terrorists really are a splinter cell that are acting on their own, and and like the fact that ends up not being the case. Sorry, spoilers. Watch the movie. It's a good movie. The fact that ends up not being the case sucks, because it leads me to back to the initial place where I'm like, okay, well then is Jackie Chan the good guy? No, Jackie Chan's really hurting people. He's a broken man man who's acting out, the results of him being injured so much in a previous life.
But he's Batmaning though, right? He's not killing anyone. He's trying not to kill anyone. He's trying to just hurt.
Right.
people.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I feel like
We have the Jaguars that go boom. That guy.
Yeah,
was
he's
trouble.
not. He's not necessarily like pulling his punches and blowing things up and saying, "Oh, let me make sure there's no people in here before I blow this up."
Right.
I mean,
He definitely chooses sides.
Yeah.
And he he is at one point okay with, all right, we'll let the IRA do one more bomb so we can figure out this code.
I thought that was so weird.
I don't care what other fathers might lose their daughters in this case, but go for it. Okay, you have 24 hours.
Double-decker bomb, do it.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. But also, like, they tried to make a point of like, well, he didn't kill the dog. He just put him to sleep. He didn't blow the bathroom up to hurt anybody. He did just like a warning, and they even called it that later. Like, they were trying to establish that, but you're right. Later on, he got pretty gnarly.
Early, yeah, he did. It's so having a I'm willing to do anything to avenge my daughter's death is great if that's the pure focus of the movie. But then you enter in this whole thing where, well, shoot, now we've got the whole Pierce Brosnan thing, which I'm glad they didn't follow the trope. This is what I was going to say earlier. I'm glad they didn't follow the trope of, oh man, Pierce Brosnan's kind of the sympathetic character, is a really, really good guy, until the very end you find out that he's been playing both sides.
Yeah, good point.
He lit the fuse. It went further than he thought it would, but it was still on him.
Yeah,
end,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and I kind of,
I'm glad they didn't do that and just like lead you into this thinking that, oh man, I kind of feel bad for Pierce Brosnan because he's just this government dude who used to be IRA and is getting harassed by
poor guy sleeping with Charlie Murphy. Not that Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy, but Maggie.
Charlie Murphy. It's actually a case where Jackie Chan's character doesn't commit violence that really sealed it for me that he was also a bad guy. And that's so the English have a counter agent played by Rory Fleck Byrne. His name is Morrison, and he goes out in the woods, and Jackie Chan easily disables it.
Right. Before or after he sleeps with his aunt. Oh,
yeah.
All right.
What the hell's going on there, man? Jeez Louises.
Saw this on Pornhub or something.
This guy goes out there to kill him if he can, and Jackie Chan completely thwarts it, and then they sit and have a conversation. And I was just like, oh, Jackie Chan actually does have sides here. He perceived via magic that this person had absolutely nothing to do with the bombings, and therefore was going to be sympathetic. And I'm like, oh, so Jackie Chan is just willing to kill anybody who he thinks is attached to the IRA. Like, that's all there is to it.
I think if they have information he needs, I think if you have names, I think he's going to let you.
I'm just saying he's not subtle, and it was a moment of subtlety that made me realize it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I kind of liked that fight a lot, but I didn't like how quickly everything got.
I didn't like it because I'm still okay. So if you're listening to this later on, we just got through with the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight of young versus old, and I was like, oh no, I'm watching the old versus young. What's the reality versus fantasy? And I'm like, oh, Jackie Chan still, he's just so old. I mean, could he really beat a guy who was at least decently trained at the age he's at? I mean, oh god.
So he does take his lumps though, like more than you've seen him doing any Super Cop or Rumble in the Bronx or any of that stuff.
Right.
Like he looks like he feels every time somebody gets him, punches him in the gut or in the side or in the back or something. And he's kind of hobbling around a lot more.
It was a pretty good. That's why I love his acting when he's serious, because I felt like I was seeing both Jackie Chan do a great job of portraying a character bereft and who's trying to get revenge and everything, but I also saw somebody who realizes his prime is gone and the best he can do is rely on his training and try to survive, and it's going to hurt, and he's going to make faces that make me want to poop. Like,
there's a kind of movie magic in that also that you don't have in real life when Tyson fights Paul, and that is we all go with it when he is the witness to the worst grief imaginable.
Right.
We then impart some magic onto him. He's 60 years old, but he has a power that he's gotten from his experience that we're just he can do anything at this point, right? Right, because he doesn't care if he dies.
Right.
We just he can do anything.
Yeah.
And the whole movie is suffused with that. And I actually thought that made this really great counterbalance to Pierce Brosnan's character, who is just trying to keep his head above water. And it's like in all of these rhetorical debates with people, it's great. It's magical.
And he did a really good job of proving that he was still dangerous, right? I mean, he's constantly saying during the movie that, he doesn't want to resort to violence, but you can feel it. It's bubbling underneath that he will.
Yeah.
He will kill.
Plus, he was giving him all the chances in the world. He'd show up at these places or called every day, and he was like, "Give me the names. That's all you need to do. Thank you for your time." Like, you've had your chances to give this guy what he needs, and at the end, he's like, "Well, all right, now we go full secret Chinese." Secret,
I do like how quickly Morrison is giving it up, though. Oh, names, yeah, sure. Grab my phone. Right there. Passcode is
yeah.
I think it was in Venmo a minute ago. So if you could swipe out a Venmo and
I'm sleeping with my aunt. What do you want from me?
Oh yeah, might be some suspicious looking photos in there. Just zip past those.
Yeah, ignore those. Pretend you don't see them. But that's what I mean. That fight was so epic between them, and then it was just like, here we are hanging out. Let's give you my phone. Everything's great.
Oh my God, Orla Bradley is just amazing. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This movie reminded me that a fight doesn't have to be epic for it to be really awesome.
Brady.
And the example of that for me is when Liam Hennessy. There's multiple Hennessy's in this movie. When he realizes that he's basically got to kill his associate McGrath.
Yeah.
Right.
And Dermot Crowley is the perfect cast for this guy, by the way. And so he brings him into the office, right? And puts him in the main chair, and then holds a gun on him and shoots him in the knee. And he writes down some names and locations faster than anyone has ever written.
Right.
that scene was just so awesome because it was a action sequence. It was a fight, but it was not at all typical.
Yeah,
it was
right.
No.
And I'll admit, I came into this thinking that Brosnan was going to annoy me because I don't really picture him this way. I don't picture him.
I was curious whether he was going to use his normal voice or if he was going to use make it a little more accenty.
He went pretty accenty.
Up the Irish, didn't he?
He upped it a little. Yeah, he upped it.
Yeah. It worked for me overall, though. I kept thinking that you would probably cast Liam Neeson in this role and it would work, but also I think you wouldn't because Liam Neeson implies a certain kind of Taken vibe, and I don't think anybody wanted that. I'm not sure even maybe he didn't even try out for this role, but you could see Liam, literally called Liam, playing Liam.
Right.
He could have done it for sure. But in the end, I think I really liked him in this. I think older Brosnan's interesting. I think that of all the Bonds as they age, those actors all get more interesting to me.
This may be a little bit patronizing, especially towards someone who lived in Hong Kong for a lot of his life. But Jackie Chan's British accent made me happy. I thought he was it was it was just inflected,
right? It was like a little bit of a taste of it, and it was just enough.
Right, hint of it.
I've enjoyed the path that Jackie Chan has taken with the English language. Even like watching documentaries with him, like Rush Hour. Like if you've ever seen behind the scenes stuff with that, and him talking about, having conversations on set in English, it's been an amazing journey to watch it from the outside. And seeing him here. It's so good.
Yeah.
I would like to hear from somebody Irish listening to Pierce Brosnan's accent, though,
right?
See
how dirty it is.
I mean,
how dirty it was. Yeah.
He is Irish. Like he gets to do this.
Yeah. Who? Brosnan's
That's
Irish?
Like saying,
I thought he was British.
I thought he was British too.
No, he's Irish.
Regular.
What?
Oh,
I think he was born
English.
Irish. I don't know if he lived.
I thought he was English. Are you sure?
He was born Irish.
Oh, you're right. He was born in Ireland.
Oh.
Yeah.
He moved to the UK at an early age, but and that's it. And there, even in his thing, it says, thus explaining his ability to play men from both backgrounds convincingly. All right.
Oh, it's funny because to me that so felt like the stereotype. This
was a discussion when he was cast as James Bond because he was like there was a concern that he would sound Irish instead of Scottish, and like that was a big deal over there. I thought he sounded perfect.
I mean, it is a big deal over there. It's kind of like in the U.S. though. I mean, like I can spot a bad Southern accent in a second.
Well, so you've seen Knives Out.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. I've seen tons of movies with bad. So it's hardly ever a good Southern accent in the film, and I'm sure you guys feel the same
Sure.
from whatever region you're from. I'm sure you
No,
feel like
I don't think I've ever heard somebody try to do a Denver accent,
Right.
nor would I be able to
Give me the Denver.
recognize what that is.
right to the Denver.
I'll bet you Fred Armisen has a Denver accent in his
Ah.
repertoire.
One out.
Interesting.
Yeah,
is he a Denver?
probably.
Is he a Denverite? I didn't know that.
No, Fred
No,
Armisen.
no,
Fred Armisen has been
master of
touring.
impersonations.
Yeah, Fred Armisen's been touring this accent show for years.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Yeah.
He's such a wild. He's so wild. I love him.
Yeah, he's great. I love Fred Armisen. Nothing wrong with him. Maybe he's from Portland.
So, are you guys familiar with Orla Brady? Is her name? I think Brady is.
Oh,
that
the
how you
wife?
say it? Yeah, the wife from Picard. Do you guys see her in Picard?
Oh, that's where she's from. Gosh,
Do I?
Sure. All right. Never mind.
Do I have it? Do I have a type? Yes.
Yeah,
Is it her?
she's pretty great. Yeah, good point. I'd forgotten she was in Picard. I completely missed. I
I
missed
did
it.
too.
Yeah, she's great though.
Wow, but
No,
how
she's
about
amazing
Like,
at this.
this is The Foreigner's listed as one of her 4 things that she's known for. Into the Badlands being another one. You watched that, did you, Scott? Into the Badlands?
No, I wanted to, and then everyone set up. What was it? A series?
Yeah,
Oh, that
AMC.
no, yeah. This is one I want to see and haven't yet.
Okay.
I may have. Did I start it? Something happened with this. Oh, that's what happened. I started this and then got busy. It wasn't because I didn't like it. It was kind of rad. Ooh, thanks for the reminder. Actually, I'm going to go back to this.
Yeah, that's a good. I heard great things about it. I never saw it myself either, but I guess she was in one episode of Bosch Legacy, but I'm not seeing anything else I've seen her in. But
She was in
Picard.
Fringe a little bit.
A little bit of Fringe. Yeah,
I need to go back and watch another. I got to do a Fringe watch through again.
Fringe
It's been a
binge?
while.
a Fringe binge.
Fringe binge, just so good.
A Fringe binge.
All right, so I kept trying not to think about it because I was trying to enjoy the movie, but I'm like, oh, how do you? Oh, it's like he's sleeping with his aunt. I'm like, oh man, because all my
Yeah,
aunts,
that would
my aunts are. So I was born. My aunt was always my aunt, and I'm like, did they
Right,
get
right.
married later? I mean, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's something about somebody who's always been a relative your entire life. It's like I couldn't see you overcoming that mental block.
I never would be able to. This is the woman you had Irish breakfast with every summer,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you
yeah.
do with them.
Irish
Yeah,
breakfast. I
And
love that.
and you're like, okay, I
I gave
guess.
you the full Irish.
Yeah,
Right.
I assume that maybe there was something going on there with like they weren't
Close?
maternal.
Like they were.
Well, no, I mean they weren't.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like they weren't like like he got married later or something, and
or
she
someone's
wasn't in his
adopted
life.
or something like that. They're not really related. Yeah,
But I needed that explanation.
I did
I'm like,
too, dude. I was the whole time. I'm like,
I'm
that's
just
like
being
my.
distracted right
Family
now.
tree, like whose side? Like is she on the wife's sister maybe, and that's why
Right.
she's the aunt, and maybe
Yeah, and because
in
they never
retrospect-
told us, it just felt weird. It didn't feel good.
Maybe it's
In
okay.
retrospect, I wish this had been a 3-hour long movie that was paced Michael Mann style, where you can breathe around some of these revelations.
Mm.
Right.
Like this entire subplot where his wife is actually against him, and he's like really openly seeing a mistress. That's so weird. I couldn't swallow this.
I kept
going to a restaurant where anybody
Yeah.
could walk in and see you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like I don't know. I was expecting when they first had his interaction with his wife that it was going to be like, "Yep, all right, well, I know we're separated and blah 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 blah, but do you have to parade around what your dalliances are?" But no, it's
Right.
like you never came home last night. Oh, well, so it's that kind of situation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need Charlie Murphy to keep her hair the same so I can recognize that she's the same girl sleeping with 3 different men. I'm like,
Right.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like, is that a different lady?
I love that the script gave the character Maggie gave
Right.
her a moment to complain about one of the men she had to sleep with.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
she was so
reporter.
pist off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
He's disgusting.
Yeah.
I had to shag him.
Yeah. Their whole scene. Okay, well, let's talk about what grossed me out. I'm going to play
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
here.
say that
Gross.
happened.
Shagging.
What grossed me out was not the shagging. It was
Oh wait,
him.
can I say something first?
Go ahead.
Because I wrote this down. I want to read to you what I wrote down.
Go.
What grossed out Scott the most.
Go.
Okay. James O'Bond calls the Brit and says, "Oi, got your nems." And then there's a smash cut to a man in bed with a woman, and they're naked, and he collapses backwards on the bed, and she's out of frame on top of him, and the sweat on his hairy
Yeah.
chest, Scott was able to smell it through the screen.
No.
That's what I wrote.
No,
So
you're
much
incorrect.
sweat.
That is not what grossed me out. That all felt fake and water.
The hairless
and spray
nipple that Pierce Brosnan had when he was laying down.
That didn't bother me either. Although I don't like seeing him like making out with people in bed.
No.
All right. Well,
but here's what grossed me out. It's adjacent to this. So the guy gets up after this little sweaty moment, right? He goes in the bathroom and I almost captured this. I should have, because then I could show you guys again. He goes in there and he's just freshening up or whatever you do, right?
Right.
And
Brushing his teeth, gargling, all that stuff.
And she's running around trying to change the hard drive or the battery pack out.
Right.
And while he's doing that, he does two things in succession on the same shot. He takes water in one hand and starts rubbing his pits with them. And then with that same hand, without even going for a new cup of water, he starts rubbing his face and his eyes with his freaking pit water.
Right. Yeah. It's not good.
It was gross.
Good.
Oh man, good.
Really grossed me out. Because that's not even a thing you can fake. I mean, he can be as clean as a whistle. I don't care. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Why would you do
Those
that?
are hot,
Was it
hot
just
studio lights or hot set lights? And
They were sweating, man.
Yeah.
They were sweating.
Yeah, it was gross. Anyway, so that's you were close, Randy. It was more of an aftermath thing, but you were very, very close, I think, on that.
there's so many little things around all of that subplot. Like she's like, this woman really gets around. All of these people do. And we were initially told that these terrorists in London are laying low. They're staying in one place, or they're moving to a second location and then staying there for the rest of their lives.
Sure.
And then the next thing you know, they're all interacting with different people, and they got a guy that they're putting a laptop in, and he's going to the airport with it. And somehow they bombed a bus. I don't even know, like what. They're just everywhere all the time, and like I just wanted a little more time to understand.
Yeah, it was there. You're right. It kind of just got to it. You know, it didn't waste a lot of time.
I mean, we were kind of like, we were the victims of that first explosion that Jackie Chan was involved in, because you didn't even really see where the bomb exploded at or where it was planted or anything. I mean, it was almost hard to tell. I kept trying to rewind and go back and look and say, well, was it in a car? Was it a bike? We were supposed to see somebody leaving. It was like, no, it just surprise, bomb, butthole.
Yeah. Motorcycle pulls up. Bomb goes up. We don't see, we know the guy got away, obviously, because he's one of our dudes. But and let's actually talk really quickly about that too. Another trope that they avoid, again, thankfully, is the Jackie Chan gets into the apartment with all the IRA guys. He sees the guy with the mark on his hand, and then he kind of goes systematically through and takes out all of them. And you're expecting, all right, well, guy with the mark on his hand is somehow going to get away, and there's going to be a huge chase, and finally Jackie Chan is going to, near death, finally confront this guy and kill him. No, that guy died somehow in one of those.
He choked him. He choked the guy, the tire tattoo guy. He choked him out.
That was the one he choked? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one he choked out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That reminded me that lay on your backs choking always reminds me of No Country for Old Men. That scene where he gets the cop. Yeah.
Yes,
always gets me.
That was, my God. That whole scene though was really badass. Oh man, I love Jackie Chan doing this so many times. This movie. Excuse my language, but every time I saw him do it, I thought in his head he went, "Surprise, motherfucker," because he's always like in some kind of hidden spot and just like all of a sudden just pops out.
Yeah,
and it's just every time.
like the dude from oh shit, what's the show where he comes out? Surprise, mother effer. What's the show?
Right.
Dexter.
That's what it felt like.
That Dexter scene
Dexter.
where that dude comes out of the container. I love it.
Sorry, I had to bleep that one. But
nah, just leave it in. Who cares?
I want to point out something that I think is really, really cool in this movie. And that is during the first time that they go into the woods to try to catch Jackie Chan, and they fail completely.
Yeah.
One of the Irishmen drops an AR-18 and then runs off. Right. He leaves his gun on the ground. Because,
I'm out.
I think because he steps on a.
Is that the nail stepper? Because
maybe?
That is, I would do the same. If I stepped on a bunch of rusty nails,
I'm dropping whatever's in my hands.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It actually may have been the guy who comes to help that guy, but one of them drops an AR-18, Then later
the guy
in the
gets hit by a branch and knocks him over. Like the branch swings back and hits him.
Oh yeah, that was great, dude.
That was the nephew. I didn't know that. So Randy, you saying that was the same gun that he had
later in the movie when Jackie Chan invades a flat in London? He's got an AR-18. Now it's got a homemade silencer, suppressor on the barrel, and it's missing the scope. I think.
Catch.
But I was like, man, did Jackie Chan pick that thing up and bring it all the way back to?
Yes,
he got on the ferry.
Yeah,
that's a cool little detail, The fight, but then it's ruined by the fact that Jackie Chan is wildly shooting 1,000 bullets in a small space. Like everybody would have been deaf. Everybody would have been, there's just no explaining how he becomes so not subtle.
right
in that moment, he's just trying to kill everybody, and failing
miserably. I did love the fight in that apartment though, man. That was great.
So I love close space fights like that. I mean, it was still, I still enjoy what they did earlier when they found him in the hotel room or the flat, whatever it was, that lady, the old lady who was judging. She makes me laugh. But yeah, that tight quarters fighting in the laundry room, putting that one guy through the wall. That was all those fight scenes were just great.
Yeah, that made me laugh too, dude. That lady outside in the hall. She really.
I'm charging you. The law says I can use my own key to get in.
She's underrated. That lady, underrated for sure.
Yeah.
I guess. Go ahead.
Did you see the trivia about the old pictures of Jackie Chan in Vietnam?
No.
Oh no! What was true?
I did see them using those photos, which
it was all Photoshop. They used all these pictures of various U.S. Army soldiers that were contemporary pictures of them at the time, and then they photoshopped Jackie Chan's face in there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it was old photos of Jackie Chan's face that they photoshopped.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
And when they showed him running around getting people out of the boat, they were de-aging him somehow. I don't know what they were doing there. That may have just been lighting.
I think that was lighting. I was a little bit mad at that story point because there's a news article that Jackie Chan's character never is absolute. He's pretty convinced, but there's never any absolute proof that his daughters are actually dead.
Right.
They may have just been kidnapped.
A lot of effort to say in that redacted thing, believes his daughters were kidnapped, raped, and killed. Yeah.
And I'm like, where's the sequel then? Because I need a daughter to come back.
No, I think that was honestly the point. They wanted to have a sequel, make a franchise out of this, and then he would be off. He would get news that they are somehow alive. And now here's your new movie, which makes perfect sense. But I don't think this did that well at the box office. I think it was like kind of a.
Actually did really good at the box office against this budget.
Did it?
Yeah, against this budget, it did it. Wow. It blew it out.
This was the first time. I know, Scott, you had said you wanted to see this. This was the first time I'd heard of this film.
First time you'd even heard of it. I didn't realize that. Wow.
I think the big holdup was actually because this is a lot of hands producing, so it's going to need somebody who's guiding it. And I'm not sure who it was that was guiding most of it, but they were kind of like, do we really want to do sequels and tread through that? And is this going to just, diminish it? I think that's what the trivia says.
Where does IMDb hide the money now? I don't know where. Here it is. Box office.
31 million to make, 133 million worldwide or something like that.
That's not a huge hit though.
No, but enough to go, let's do another.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like yesterday I went to see Gladiator 2 and one of the trailers was Den of Thieves 2 and I realized there's a Den of Thieves 1? What?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
And it even sounds like a movie I'd like because I like Gerard Butler and I like heist movies. So why have not seen Den of Thieves 1? But you're right. Like it does seem like that's enough maybe to greenlight it, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't. So it's kind of a bummer.
There's enough story left there to give us another. Give us another, please.
Chan's busy. Look at this.
One more.
His let's get rid of his production stuff because who cares? Okay, here we go. Actor. He's got 6 things in the works. He's got let's see, 5 Against a Bullet, whatever that is. Rush Hour 4. There it is. I knew it was getting made.
There it is.
New Police Story 2. Once Upon a Zodiac, whatever that means. Mo Shang Jai Ting, and then finally Karate Kid Legends, which. I know people want to laugh at that, but I really liked him as Mr. Han in that first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he's excellent as... In fact, that was the first time I ever went, this guy knows how to act. It's not just like punchy kicky. He's like an actor.
Punchy kick. He's not just punchy kicky.
He's not just punchy kicky. He's punchy kicky acty. Anyway,
Look at that.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but that new one, Legends, it's a new kid and stuff. Obviously not Will Smith's kid anymore, but
Right.
Ralph
Is he
Macchio.
grown?
Ralph Macchio shows up as Daniel.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know how big a role.
Oh, they're crossing the streams. How they doing that?
I mean, it's Legends. I mean, it makes.
Like he's dead in Cobra Kai. He's still around.
Yeah, he's still around, and also I guess
I know, but it wasn't the Jackie Chan wasn't like a reboot though. But didn't it like?
no.
wasn't
See,
it
that's
saying,
what's
hey-
interesting. It was not a reboot. They called it Karate Kid,
Okay.
but it was. He's Mr. Han, not Mr. Miyagi. The other kid wasn't Daniel.
Gotcha.
Like it was set in China. Like there's big differences. So I think the
Right.
idea is that these are same world, but not the same. So,
I gotcha.
so look,
There's
he's got.
more than one Karate Kid.
Yeah, there is. And look at him. He's got his whole head on there, so he must play a big
His
role.
whole head. Holy Moses! Look at his whole Daniel head right there,
Dan-
Ralph Macchio.
Hold on a
Oh,
second.
Daniel head.
Anyway, what's this one you put before that? What is that?
I don't know if you go to Jackie Chan's IMDb. That's like besides his headshot, that's like the first photo that comes up, and I'm like, why is that the first photo? The 866 photos.
That's
Is it that thing?
that's
It's
busted.
from Super Cop 2, where he's dressed up as a lady.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that at all, but I don't remember Super Cop 2 at all. There's some other trivia here. For example, let's see here. This is great. This reunite. Well, we talked about it before. This reunited Martin Campbell with Pierce Brosnan. They worked together on GoldenEye. Second time Campbell worked with cinematographer David Tassis for Vertical Limit. And this is the first movie he did since Green Lantern, which I also mentioned. Here's my favorite bit, though. Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan appeared in 2 different adaptations of Around the World in 80 Days. Chan was in the one with that British actor I love. I can't think of his name. And Brosnan appeared in Around the World in 80 Days in 89. And it was a very different movie, but that's a fun little. You think between takes, they're like, well, so Mr. Chan, what was your
What did
80
you
days
think
like?
of the world in 80 days. Oh, I thought it was a good time. How about you? How was your world in 80 days?
He's like, Peter Piper played the flute, and then they would film
Did
it.
you take a hot air balloon as well? Cool.
Yeah, you remember Arnold was in one of those? I think it was the Chan one. Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah,
it was
like
while
lots
he
of
was.
cameos,
Yeah,
right?
he was while it was while he was governor. It was the only thing he was allowed to do, or something, or allowed himself to do during his governor time because he thought it was a conflict of interest to be in movies. So he did like a cameo. Anyway,
Right.
we should probably watch that. Here is all I'm saying. If we
One
have
of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one, too. The Jackie Chan one for sure.
Yeah, I'd be down. What else? Yeah. Oh, I thought the bathroom bomb was rad. I just didn't want to let that slip. I thought that's cool. I like it when people know how to make weird shit out of nothing, and it looks like
Just some
groceries.
groceries.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
also, did you notice did you notice your Game of Thrones connection there? Your Ruse Bolton is your second in command with.
Oh no, I didn't.
He's the one that he's the one that was always hanging around Brosnan, and explaining what happened, and he was always yelling at them, telling them to go do stuff, and. Anyway, he was the
I didn't pick up on that.
That's
cool.
Dad Bolton who
I love the music in this movie, though. I'll tell you that it was always got me jacked. I was like, yeah, let's go.
what's his name? I'm gonna find his name. It's
I
gonna
do
piss
too.
me off. His name is that actor deserves some credit. Damn it. His name is not showing up for me. This is great. So never mind. We'll deal with it when we play his audio because I got some clips of that guy. How about that?
I got a trope I want to explain.
Do it.
So this is the roaring rampage of revenge trope. I mean, it's the point of the movie, right? The Jackie Chan character goes on a roaring rampage of revenge. And if you go to the TV tropes page for that trope, my gosh, there's a lot of examples. This is something that happens in action movies. You hurt the action star and the action star rampages. And there are 7 James Bond movies listed here, where basically every time James Bond ever goes on a roaring rampage of revenge, such as the entire plot of Quantum of Solace, and a couple of them I had forgotten, like Die Another Day, and that was just like I was like, oh, look at that! There's Pierce Brosnan going on a roaring rampage of revenge. Because he's trying to hunt down whoever got him imprisoned in North Korea. Huh.
Yeah. License to Kill was like all Roaring Rampage, right?
He throws, James Bond basically leaves MI6, right?
Yeah, exactly. And,
I always forget the plot of that one. We haven't done the Timothy Dalton ones, have we?
No, we should do one of them at least, because I think he was probably everybody's least favorite Bond, but man, he was the closest to the Ian Fleming description.
Yeah, we never got. I guess we're still on a run of those, right? We're just taking our time.
Yeah, we'll eventually get to them because we are going through them one at a time.
Yeah.
We talked about this trope when we watched Payback, and like Payback that is the Roaring Rampage of Revenge, the movie. But Mel Gibson is also all over that list, like The Patriot and the first Mad Max, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There was a gladiator in that Gladiators 2 that looked like Mel Gibson to me. He walked through this window or this door, and he looked like Mel Gibson, and I went, Mel! And my wife pinched me really hard.
Shut up,
I'm so glad I don't see movies with you.
I know.
I really the passphrase now.
I would probably be more careful around it because I know he can't stand.
I would put the card up at the Alamo Draft House saying seat 518 is making too much noise.
They have cards. They have cards to hold up.
Yeah, you have to write. You have to write down your order for food.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know you could hold up a card and.
Well, you
just
don't
write whatever you want.
You write it, you put it up in the slot, and then put your little red light on, and then somebody comes over, reads it, goes in the back, and deals with it.
You ever put potatoes on it? You ever put that on there?
Potatoes?
I would like potatoes.
I put popcorn on it.
You should say, "Can you bring me some biscuits with mustard on it?" And you should do that.
That's
See what they do.
Exactly.
But hold on.
I pre-write. Here's one of the things I do. Here's Brian life hacking Alamo Draft House. While it's still light in the theater, I pre-write out one that says Coke Zero refill, please, and then I set it to the side so that as soon as I need it, I just pop it in the slot and flick the light on and get my Coke Zero refill.
That's a good hack. I like that a lot.
I need one. They put too much ice in there. It's like 5 drinks and you're done. Yeah. So it's like, give me
you should put no ice in there as well on your note.
But I want it cold. I'm not a monster.
No, you're not a terrible human being. Jesus.
About 20 years.
You won't let Scott talk in the movie. So I mean,
about 20 years ago, when I was going to the Alamo Draft House every week, I got to know the different servers, and one of them was a very attractive woman. And I asked her one time, "So, how often does somebody ask you for your number on the order card?"
Oh, jeez.
Good job. Good pickup lines.
She goes,
Randy.
"This happens all the time." She gets order cards all the time that say, "Can I get your number?"
Oh,
and she always answers with, "We'll see after I see how much you tip." And,
smart.
Which is to say, no, you cannot ever get her number.
Yeah.
She's just tried to get more money out of these suckers.
$2 it is, baby.
Your tip better have 7 digits like my phone number.
Yeah. That's funny, dude. Oh my gosh. I wonder if that ever works. That just seems like such a cheesy thing to do.
Only if it's only sexy if you're sexy. Otherwise it's creepy.
Yeah.
So Brian Ibbett, if
I know you're not talking to yourself, so glad you said my name.
So if Scott's in the movie theater, he gets very excited because Ian Wood won't take his headphones off during that one scene because I scream at the screen when that happens. Would you be upset with him?
Yeah.
Take your headphones off, Ian. Good God.
Yeah.
I'd be more irritated with him than I would with Ian Wood.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't. So here's the deal. When I do this to my wife, it's always just to her. Like she's not. Right. It's not like me going into the theater. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I do it just enough for her to like elbow me or pinch me. It's just let you know you're alive. We know we're alive.
A little touch.
The people sitting next to me at Gladiator thought they were whispering below audible volume, and I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I could hear that they were saying stuff. And I knew from what was happening on screen, it was, wait, is that from the first movie?
That's awesome.
I did lean over to my friend and say, "Ooh, it's Wonder Woman's mom," and he goes, no. He goes, "No, it's the mom from the first movie." And I went,
okay.
"No,
why not both?"
I'm like the actress, and then I gave up. It's like, there's a reason we only see each other once in a while.
There's, exactly. Nope. You want to talk? Watch it at home.
Yeah.
You want to whisper? Watch it at home.
Yeah. Well, wait for it to stream, buddy.
Exactly. Watch it at home.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to eat your popcorn? Listen, here's how you put popcorn. For everybody listening, here's how you eat popcorn. You grab 1 or 2 kernels, you put them in your mouth, you close your mouth, and then you start chewing.
Yeah. You know, if I go to Alamo Draft House, I'm going to sit as far away from Brian Ibbett as I humanly can.
You better, because I feel like I've got a blast radius of about 4 rows.
I'm not too worried about it. The only penalty really that comes out of Ibbott's the eye roll and a huff, right? I feel like that's probably all you.
It pretty much is. I've had people full on talk next to me, and here's what did it is taking the crazy neighbors to see the Tom Hanks Here movie,
right?
And it was being next to being the people responsible for bringing the people that I usually hate in the theater. It's like, yeah, I sure hope people are giving us a break. So it would take a lot for me to actually write up the card, put it up.
You really know you're in trouble though if you look over at Ibbott and he gives you the smile. You'll know if you know Ibbott, you'll recognize it. The smirk, this little smile. It's like
it's the smile of like, yeah, could you stop that? It's like I'm
tolerating your existence.
But I'm raising my lips close to my nose and going, could you just a little?
Could you back that off some?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. I have a funny thing that I did here. I wrote down these are my final notes of the movie. That bathroom bomb was rad. Make sure to mention, period. This movie is rad. And my final note was, no notes. This movie is rad.
Right. No notes.
No notes, except for the ones I already wrote.
Yeah, except for the ones I wrote before it. But I honestly don't have that many beefs. I really liked it.
Here's one thing I wrote was, when he hits McGrath with the gun, it should have been a scratch that started bleeding, not bleeding already.
Yeah. Like that was a weird hit. I was curious about that.
Well, if you split open, so I think that there's something to that. I could be wrong. So someone will have to write in. But if you hit somebody in a tight skin place and create a wound like that, I think it would split open like that, right?
But I don't know about a cheek, like where it was at.
Seems like because it was bleeding immediately. It wasn't even like you start seeing blood trickling out of it, because you'd have the scratch and then it would start bleeding.
Yeah, I guess it depends on whether you split it wide open or not. And I don't know what
if you really gash it, yeah.
And it would have to be his cheekbone, I guess. Cheekbone against metal would probably split. I don't know.
My other note was, oh, is that your laptop? Cool. I'm going to take it and run through the busiest part of the airport instead of just throwing it through the window behind you.
Yes. Push the people away or something. It's like, everybody get back.
Yeah. Those cops had really impressive guns. Whenever you always, for some reason, they outfit these guys with very impressive guns because you want to see the guns with the camera, right? Like they should have, of course, he's just going to shoot the window to break it and then throw that laptop as hard as he can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I do like how they're all like single file already through. Hep, inward. They
look like synchronized swimmers all diving in.
It was very anime, right?
Green Army, the Green Army men from Toy Story. Hep. Inward.
I really appreciated that the movie went to the extra little tiny length of making the guy with the laptop have headphones on so he couldn't hear initially. Like it's a little touch that made me happy.
That's great. Well, how about clips? Anyone have anything else besides that? Do the clips? Let's do clips then. Excellent. I have some clips, and they're pretty good ones. They're not a lot because, again, serious movie. Hard to isolate stuff that's goofy, but
not a lot of joy in this thing.
No, but I got a few things. So here's Looking for the Irishman.
Every cop, hotel, and landlady in London is now looking for the Irishman.
Yeah. Always
closed captions on.
Yeah. That's
I just realized as we listen to these clips, I need to compliment all four of us for not really doing accents.
Any accents?
Thank you. It just doesn't. It doesn't help the criticism of the movie to try to to try to do the accents.
Yeah, but I'm happy to do one if I need to. I'll do it if I need to. Okay. But I won't.
If it comes right down to it.
Yeah, if it comes down to it, the Irish, they'll be fine. How about this one? Ibbott to his date. I'm sorry. This is Ibbott to his date's dad on prom night before you guys left for the dance. Okay? So this is what you said to the dad.
Don't wait up and don't be worried.
Don't wait up. Don't be worried.
Don't be worried.
I would be worried if you
with a lady.
If you talked like that, I'd be worried. I would be worried.
Yeah.
If I was the dad.
Don't be worried.
For some reason I want to hear him do The Night Before Christmas, the poem. I want to hear him read that in that accent.
I would love that. That'd be cool. You could sell that. Dante's Peak, baby. I don't know why I said that. All right, moving on to
I don't know, Tourette's.
Here,
Tourette.
Here is his accent again.
Yes, I understand the need for swift action, but until we can identify the threat, there's not much we can do.
Yeah,
that feels so exaggerated. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a dialect though, right? Or not dialect, but like a regional version of it. And maybe it could be the Belfast, and he was born in. I don't know if he was born in Northern Ireland. He might have been born in.
I think
Ireland.
he was. Yeah, I think he's from Ireland.
From like Dublin. Yeah, so he would have a different.
Well, here's Roose Bolton, father of the worst.
He's a dairy boy.
Yeah, he's a dairy boy. Roose Bolton, father of the worst Bolton in the history of Game of Thrones. I forgot his name though. Who's the Bolton kid who had the wiener in his hand?
Not Rance. Michael.
You're thinking Reek. Is that what you were going to say? Reek?
Yes,
what?
Michael Bolton.
Well,
No,
Reek is what he called.
That's right. What he called. Yep.
Rance? Reese?
That was the hardest thing in TV to watch I've ever watched in my life, by the way. That whole
the Reek thing. Yeah, it was rough.
interaction. Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but anyway.
You're talking about the castration.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the castration thing. That was.
Wait, what? Who'd you say?
No, Roose was the dad.
Roose is the dad. Ramsey. That is correct. Anyway, here is his dad, Roose Bolton, in this role saying stuff.
He's got a knife in him. One of those Swiss Army types.
I'm going to ask for the Red Wedding to get started and kill everybody in there.
He was going to toothpick you.
Yeah. Here he is.
Like a bottle of champagne.
That's right. Here he is with a great F word.
We had him cornered, then he jumped off the roof and slid down like some fucking monkey.
That guy's great. I really like him as an actor, character actor. He's in lots of things. I just always think of Game of Thrones. And it was a small role. Like Roose Bolton was only around for a hot minute, but it was memorable. The music in this is very cool, I thought. Here's a piece. Two more. And then the big one. I mean, it's kind of cyberpunky, but I eat it up. Yeah,
cool.
Big
Just
fan.
saying, if you like this tone and the way this movie is shot, if you like this, you've got to watch the TV series Unforgotten. This is the TV series Unforgotten is exactly like this for like 6 seasons. Exactly.
That's the British thing my wife watched. She loved this, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, I recommended it about 3 years ago, and it just never stops being great. I'm like, they just keep going. Like they're gonna make another series, I'm sure, and I'll watch it.
Yeah, I need to watch. I love what's her name. She's in so many British things, including crime dramas. And but I can't remember her name. Anyway,
Nicola Walker.
Is that who that is? I think that's right.
The main woman. Yeah.
Nicola that's Walker. Her. Yeah, I freaking love her. She's awesome.
She is awesome.
She'd kick my ass if I saw her in an alleyway.
Brian Dunaway has a type, and this might be the type.
Yeah, she's up there. Yeah,
he does have a type.
I have a type. Very easy.
Mavis Beacon is your favorite. All right. Here's 2 more clips, or 3 more. We got this one. He will not be debating this.
I'll not be debating this.
They'll be not doing it. I love it. I love when he would get mad.
I'll not be debating this.
I like him mad. He needs to get more mad.
Yes. Yeah.
Played this earlier, but this was his buddy who kind of turncoated on him, and he had to shoot him in the head. But it's such a weird thing to say, and at first I didn't know what he meant.
I heard you're checking my dumps.
And I think he meant data dumps or
No, he was talking about his military
arms dumps.
Oh, arms dumps. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But when he first said it, I thought they're digging through poop to see if people are doing something.
Right.
I'm like, that's gross. Don't be doing that. I hear you're digging through me poo.
I know. Checking for
Lucky Charms.
Porn.
You found me Lucky Charms digging through me dumps. All right. Then Bond with the mega shut up. This is amazing.
Shut up!
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's a good one.
It goes right to your spine. It's so good. All right. Well, that's that. Now this. Oops. This I meant. It's the Film Sack checklist, and it goes like this. Chan still has it. Check. The Irish don't fare too well in this. Check. It's pretty anti-Irish. And finally, creative use of booze, rope, and matchbook and cigarette. Check.
again, it's pretty anti-northern Irish,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also like the English don't fare well either.
No,
They get
right.
They
they
seem
get
like
blown
dicks.
up a lot, and
They seem like dicks too. Just everyone's
first-
no one's cool. Jackie Chan's the one with like any kind of morals, and even then, he's we got collateral damage with him. So
I thought it actually portrayed some parts of it. Like, I mean, when Jackie Chan first arrives in Northern Ireland, you got like you can see the trauma, right? You can see on the streets people are hurting from all of this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Where was I? Oh, and now we're done with that, right? Yeah, I did that. Let's go to the Star Trek connections, where I'm pretty sure we already blurted out one of them.
yeah,
with the ears.
and we only have one. That's Orla Brady, who was Mary Hennessy in this movie, and was Laris in Star Trek Picard. 11 episodes of Star Trek Picard.
She took care of the winery, right, or
He's
whatever.
amazing in every episode. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And more.
Well,
You know
more.
what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. They were.
After my first check through the entire cast, I double checked Charlie Murphy. I'm talking
Right,
about
she seems right.
Charlie Murphy, the woman.
Triple checked her.
Right. Well, she because she played Jessie in Peaky Blinders, and I was just like, I feel like that was the right time for her to be on Discovery or whatever. But nope, she was never in a Star Trek thing yet.
Well, only got the one. And no Jackie Chan in Star Trek, right? For some reason, I have this feeling he was in something, but
Never.
It feels like he could be though, right?
Feels like it. I don't know why.
He just doesn't do like TV that's made in California.
That's true. Yeah. Think of something you can't. There's not one show.
I dare you. You can't.
You really
I didn't give
can't.
you a chance to even think of it.
You really can't. If there's any TV in his listing, his TV's all stuff in Hong Kong. He doesn't have any American television or British for that matter. All right. Let's move on now then to the soundtrack grade. I'd give it an R for Rad. I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
That's pretty cool.
I love a good like Born Identity. You're on the run. That weird, like I don't know, something about it really rang with me. So I'm going to try to track down who did that and get more of it.
The music first started impacting me when we see Jackie Chan's face as he's holding his dead daughter.
Yeah,
because he's got glass all over. Embedded in his skin.
Yeah,
I don't understand how he recovered from those cuts so fast.
Well, he was pretty scarred up for most of the movie.
Yeah, his body was totally scarred up when he took his shirt off.
Every
Look
time-
at those scars.
Every time you see his face after that, like there should have been the cuts from the glass.
I
That's all
mean,
I'm saying.
they
Well, he took
kind
his
of
knife and he cauterized all of
well,
us.
he kind of did, but he kind of didn't. You're right. They undersold it. But he every once in a while, like when he was in the office waiting for what's his name to show up, just sort of sitting there with his bag of groceries. He had he had little nicks all over his face, but it wasn't very very convincing. Yeah,
I always have that as something that bothers me whenever someone gets beat up really bad and then they portray themselves as coming in is costumed or something. So like when he goes at the very end and he comes in, it's like, I'm a gas man here to check your gas. And I'm like, dude, look at your face. Obviously not trustworthy. Something's going on with you. So I'm calling the gas. Calling the gas company.
Yeah, but he didn't. I mean, he looked like a humble little guy that worked for the. I mean, I bought it. I thought that was actually a great way of getting him in the house, especially with her going. It's within the law for me to use my key to come. I don't know why she's Irish. She's British.
I love they shot all of it through that peephole where they're
peephole
all
view,
they're all fish-eyed.
I like a fish-eyed peephole view. It's good.
Yeah,
creates tension.
This composer, by the way, is Cliff Martinez.
Yeah.
He's done some things. He scored like Solaris and The Lincoln Lawyer and Drive.
Solaris. I like the music in that. Oh yeah, this
all
guy.
good stuff.
Okay, he's got some separate albums and things. I'm gonna look him up.
You mentioned Den of Thieves. He composed the music in that.
No, really.
What else? Like
So he's busy.
Yeah, he's all right. He does a
Den of
pretty good
Thieves
job.
had great music in it. Yeah. This guy's good.
Cliff Martinez is.
Yeah.
I'm quite certain that Cliff Martinez is American, but he finds himself composing things in London.
Yeah, and then sometimes visits his mom in Spain because he's a
Maybe.
Martinez. Yeah. He gets around.
Yeah.
He gets around. He's a world hopping music man. All right, social media posts. This is where you guys sum it up in 280 characters or less. I think this week we're going to go nuts. Flip it on its end. Turn it all around and start with Randy.
The Foreigner. English interrogators don't jest. They will hook electrodes to your breast. When you're in London and you just need rest, making love to your aunt is the best.
Oh.
And no.
Oh, and creepy.
Right. Oh, you managed it. You creeped me.
You made it weird. All right, nice done. Nice done.
I didn't
Nicely
make
done.
it weird.
Done.
He made it weird.
Nice done.
No, we all made it weird by saying you made it weird. That's what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's all a big weird
Sandwich.
Yeah, it's a weird sandwich. Had a few of those in my life. All right, Brian Dunaway, your turn.
Sorry you played the clip 100 times. The Foreigner. I hear you are checking my dumps. My dumps were off limits, and now we need a new passphrase. # bathroom bomb.
No, it's almost better that we brought it up a few times because then it really rhymes.
Context.
Because we may have
lovely ammo dumps.
yeah, my lovely lady dumps. All right, Brian, it's your turn to take us home.
The Foreigner, Jackie Chan, as a man who loses everything and goes after the terrorist that killed his daughter in the role of a lifetime for Liam Neeson.
Nicely done. I really do think it's a missed opportunity to not have him in this.
It is.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Liam was at home watching it going, I could have done any of this.
I could have done this, he says.
I have the skills to be in any of these roles.
Yeah.
It's a revenge movie.
I just realized you didn't capture the clip I was really hoping for the most, which is when the English close into the apartment and find the woman still alive enough to give them information, and so they start beating the hell out of her. And the torture guys coming in with the electrodes.
Yeah.
One of them yells, "Talk, you rotten slag!"
I wrote that down.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was such a bizarre line, just like in the midst of all of it.
Is that like over there? If you called someone a slag, is that like us calling someone a C word here? It's like
yes,
really mean, really awful. Okay.
Yeah, because the C word is nothing over there, so they need something as bad as the C word, and that one does it.
Yeah. So if you called someone a bloody slag, forget it. We're all dead.
Yeah.
All right, let's do alternate titles. Alternate titles for this movie: Golden Lie. Yeah, not bad, right? Or they almost went with Jackie Wick, but it was too weird. It didn't make any sense. Let's get to some texts here. We got a couple of texts from listeners this week, and they sent those to 801-471-0462. You can also use that as a voicemail line if you like, folks. Here's what Jason, a.k.a. Free Rangers, says. Hey, Film Sack crew, what are your thoughts on sacking Megaopolis, rather?
Oh, the new one. Yeah, this just come out.
Sure. Yeah, or Joker Folie à Deux. I'm sure, given their awful theatrical run, they would be streaming soon. That brings up a bigger question. Why do you think this year had so many high expectation and high-profile movies that ended up failing at the box office? Love the show, though, Jason. I mean, I think it had two. Like
I think every year has this amount. I don't think there was anything that there was like a bigger percentage of them this year that were expected and failed. But
I agree.
We're heading in two different. I think Hollywood's trying to figure it out, and I think they're heading in kind of two directions. Now's a good time to actually take a really big risk because we're already kind of questioning what the box office is right now anyway. So I think taking a big risk and a swing is fine.
Yeah, but these
Megapolis is the opposite of that. Megapolis exists because Hollywood is risk averse, and so they're only willing to give a lot of money to people that are known quantities, proven winners, and sometimes those proven winners suck. Like they make something bad.
Tarantino says the new Joker is amazing and that everyone's wrong. And,
I hear a lot of people saying this ahead of this time.
Are there feet in it though? I mean,
Yeah, maybe that. I didn't think of that. We got Harley Quinn
big Lady Gaga foot scene or something. It's like, this movie's the best.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, this whole scene had feet in it.
Joker in this place to be entertained.
Joker 2 is at 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that sounds about right to me. It's like a third of people who go to see it it's for them, and everybody else is just kind of feeling left out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
the audience score?
Oh, the audience score and the critic score are the same, 32 on each.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
I've never seen it's rare that you get that agreement. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't I've zero desire to see it for any other reason but this show perhaps. So
yeah, I'll wait to watch it, when it comes out on a service that we've already got. Both of them, Joker and Megalopolis, I'll wait to do it with you guys.
That one's at 45 critics and 35 audience, so lower audience on Megaopolis. I can't even say it.
I'm sad that this is where Todd Phillips has ended up because like I love The Hangover. I love that movie. I may be the only one, but I love what he did previously.
Yeah,
and I guess I just want more road trip type movies.
I like the first Joker.
Sure.
I enjoyed the hell out of the first Joker.
Oh, I did too. Yeah.
So did everybody. I mean, those reviews reflect that. Didn't he do the Star is Born, or he just produced that? What was his deal with that? That was also
right. He
good.
was just a producer. He that was directed by the star of the movie.
That's right. Oh, he directed War Dogs, and I really liked War Dogs.
War Dogs.
He's got some cool movies. He's also got some real shit.
But his he found a groove, like with Old School and Starsky and Hutch, and I realize that artists don't like to stay in a groove, but audiences kind of want you to.
Yeah.
Expectations, baby.
Yeah, his highest rated movie is.
I don't want my favorite candy to go, hey, we're trying something different this week. No.
Yeah.
Right. Look what happened to New Coke.
Have you seen the cookie aisle and all the different Oreos? My God.
I know. And do you see which ones we always buy? It ain't them.
Yeah. I always want. I would love to see the numbers on the Oreos. Which ones are going right? Like when they make a new one and say, "Hey, this sort of tastes like honeybees" or whatever.
There's the first week, it's like people buying it for the curiosity factor, and then nobody buys it after that. It's
because
Coke
it's bad
Slice or whatever.
It's always a disappointing face when somebody gets a new Oreo cookie.
Well, I think once in a while you have a winner. Like there'll be the vanilla or the banana ones or something or whatever. I can't remember. Lemon. That's it. The lemon ones go.
Lemon ones are the best, and it is so disappointing when you go to grab a package of lemon Oreos and accidentally grab vanilla, because the vanilla is so bad.
Yeah, that's
do not like the vanilla.
No, you don't. They're bad.
I'm very boring.
The only vanilla you need is whatever the shit is in between the cookies. That's the vanilla.
I like to eat vanilla Oreos and listen to Ice Ice Baby.
If we have learned anything this episode, Brian, has a type.
That's right.
You guys know? By the way, I was told this by a vegan friend. It's not Claire. It's somebody here locally. Somebody told me that Oreos are one of the few store-bought items you can get that are 100% vegan. Yeah,
I was pretty sure that was made out of pure animal fat. No,
no, that's what they told me. I mean,
vegetable oil.
Yeah, I've heard. I've only heard this once, and no, I didn't look further. But I'm going to take their word for it.
I'll take your word. All right, I'll take your word for it, vegan.
Yeah. She's better than the internet usually.
Dang, I really liked Oreos, and now I don't like them anymore.
I need to be killing something.
They're also they're the preferred snack of CrossFitters and people who go to. Scientologists really love them, so gotta make sure all the hated groups are into it.
So I just want you to know, Nutter Butters are vegan, graham crackers are
Nutter
vegan,
Butters. That's good.
Fig Newtons are vegan. I know this
I love
because
Fig Newtons.
a good friend of mine that I work with is vegan, and those cookies all come and go.
I do like a Fig Newton until you get one that has like a crunchy, it almost had like a little dirt clod
I need
in it.
like the rock in the middle. Yeah.
Rock in the middle. Yeah. I don't like that with. I mean, for the record, I don't like that with any food item, but for whatever reason, it seems like it crops up.
It's a high ratio of rock in Fig Newton.
Yeah,
so I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I do like a fresh Fig Newton though. You really could get some old.
It'll firm up your poo poo though. They're pretty good at that.
Maybe that's actually a bit of a petrified wasp. Have you thought of that?
It's even better. I like how it crunches.
Gross. What grossed me out today the most? That did.
Gross.
All right. Let's move to this one. An anonymous listener.
Cookie cast.
Anonymous listener wrote in, says another question for ye. It says, "No One Will Save You is one of the best There's an Alien Trying to Find Me movies since Alien. It feels a lot like how the ending of Signs felt, only it goes further. Just enough goofiness and a little CG jank to keep it from being too scary, but it's still pretty creepy. I have never heard of this."
2023 on Hulu.
Caitlin Deaver, who we love in
everything.
Well, she Justified and Dope Sick, and
she's amazing. Dude.
Tony Collette.
This is the Hulu deal. It's on. Yeah, we should watch this
Hulu,
shit.
Disney Plus?
I meant to do this.
Good.
This is something I really wanted to see at the time, and then it got away from me.
Someone help me. What's the other movie that the No One Will Save You poster looks precisely like?
Precisely, you say.
You're talking about the one with the letter, the
Batteries
words
not included.
Bigger
No,
as you get.
just a beam going into a farmhouse and like someone being levitated. There's another much more famous movie poster that it's
Fire?
ripping off.
Close Encounters. No.
Fire in the Sky. Is that what you're saying,
Fire in the
Brian?
Sky? I was thinking
know.
Fire in the Sky.
I don't know. What is it? Or is that you don't know? You're trying to figure it
Yeah,
out.
Fire in the Sky. Look at Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, but Fire in the Sky is a different angle, though, right?
Yeah, but it's still. I mean, your mind. Why not?
I mean, if you're saying here's the beam in the sky, we could probably find a million of those, right? Like, I don't know. There's something specific here that Brandy's talking about.
Hello, Brandy.
That I know what you mean, and I can't place it. But there's a
I hope that
farmhouse.
one day when we're replaced with AI, there'll be a new character called Brandy.
That's right.
It'll, like encapsulate multiple of the.
Oh, am I thinking of there's a Pixar short that.
Yeah.
Is this what I'm thinking of? I can't find it. Anyway, I love her. Caitlin Deaver can do no wrong. Let's do it. Let's watch that.
You're thinking of Lifted, Scott, and the beam once again comes in angled.
Oh, well, Lifted?
Oh, nope. There you go. Nope.
Is that when you're thinking of, Randy?
I might be. I mean, I found it very easily. I don't know if that's it though.
Nope.
But I might be.
Let's see.
I don't remember that cover.
That Nope is a horse.
Right.
Nope is a horse.
I gotta watch that movie again.
Nope is great. I have a neighbor who hates
your
Nope.
Post Joe on Film Sack where we just
randomly talk about shit.
we just love stuff.
Well, anyway, no one will save you. I think really we should. I was going to watch that anyway, so I'll save it for the show because that sounds great, and it'll be on Hulu perpetuity.
I got it added to our list of lists.
Great. In the meantime, please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/filmsack. You'll get no ads ever, pre-show content every week, a host special, in my case, going up early next week, so watch for that. I'll be recording it today sometime. And that'll be only for patrons. So if you sign up today, you can get all our past ones as well. Every month, one of us does something special, and it's usually a pretty intimate look at something that means something to us about movies. So
for sure,
tune in.
I just want to compliment the patrons who replied to my bonus episode last month. It was a really fun little discussion we had.
Yeah,
so.
people really liked that.
My favorite part.
That edition. That was really good. And you also get a print in the mail at a certain level from me, something movie related, custom art. Can't get anywhere else. So go check all this stuff out at patreon.com/filmsack and sign up today. Our next film will not be a film. It'll be a roundtable.
Well, and let's give you 2 weeks.
Actually, we're flipping it backwards, right? Because we're doing the roundtable before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Right. You've already heard this amazing roundtable. And now.
Hope you enjoyed roundtable last week.
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah.
Well, did we, though? Because we changed the topic. We were originally going to do it the other way because we were going to do Thanksgiving movies, but we're not doing
right. Do we need to switch it? Why are we switching it?
I don't think we do. And I also want to give you 2 weeks because we're going to sack Jaws 2.
Jaws
December.
2, baby.
And I personally intend to watch Jaws again and then Jaws 2.
Okay. So our travel movie,
Jaws 3D?
our travel movies roundtable is next week. And the week after that, Jaws 2. All right. Just making sure we give everybody the clear-eyed view of what's going on here. Well, that'll be great. Jaws 2. I thought we did it. I guess we did 3D. Right.
Yeah, so we got to fill in the gaps, boys.
Yeah.
I want to know what that show is doing between 1 and 3.
That's right. It's the year we make contact again with Roy Schneider.
Hey, one more time.
Schreider? What is it? Schneider? What's his name?
Roy Schneider. Shorty Pants.
Scheiberger. Got it. Hot Pants Scheiberger. Well, anyway, try our Scheiberger. It's made with love. Let's get out of here. Our website is filmsack.com. Oh, quick note. We have a presence on Blue Sky now for the show. It is at Filmsack. I'm convinced the place is good enough to start doing show accounts. And so that was the first one we made.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
You'll find all kinds of fun stuff during the week, but also posts when the shows go live, that kind of stuff, or when anything goes out and happens. And lots of images, little video clips, that kind of stuff. So if you are on Blue Sky and you've been part of the mass migration recently there, it is simply Filmsack. It's tied to our domain, so we are verified over there. So Filmsack on Blue Sky, and you can find all of us there as well because we have these starter packs and everybody gets followed at once. It's pretty great. Anyway, that's going to do it for us, for me, for Brian, and for Randy.
Dog's fine, just sleeping.
See you next time.
Those pants are made for frogging, if you know what I mean. I actually don't. I don't even know what I mean. Frogpants.com.
Shut up!